Welcome. I'm Paula Strupek Gardner, and I promise to share this practice with you. It was something that I did with my group on Sunday at the place where I've been teaching for 20 years, and it felt so beautiful, and people felt so at ease at the end that I thought I would share it with you as well. So I invite you to begin sitting down. On the floor if that's comfortable, on a chair if the floor is not, and wherever you sit, I invite you to scoot forward a little bit, or if you're on the ground, to sit on a block or a pillow so that the top of your pubic bone, the belly button side, so the top front of your pubic bone, can tilt slightly forward. And when you do that, whether you're on the floor or in a chair, you'll feel this almost instantaneous lifting and opening of the front of your body. And you don't have to do anything but follow your body's lead. Follow the wisdom of your body. When we get out of the way, it works so much better. And I invite you to bring the pinky finger sides of your hands together with your palms facing up, right in front of your belly. You can have it low, you can have it right below your heart center. And I invite you to gaze into your palms. This is called Pushpaputa Mudra, or Pushpaputa hand gesture, and it means basket of flowers. I often use this to remind myself that it's a basket of things to be grateful for. But I invite you to gaze into your hands and to think of a person, place, thing, event that has been annoying or hurtful or discombobulating to you in any way, shape, or form. Maybe somebody in the past, maybe something current, maybe something in thinking about in the future you're worried or fearful of. Just one, just for today. So choose one and place that person, place, or thing or event into the palm of your hands. And now I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze and pretend you are an oyster. I invite you to, around this person, place, or thing in your hands, begin wrapping a layer of pearlescent, luminescent light. And after you do that once, I invite you to do it again and again and again. So wrap around this issue with love, with gentleness, with grace, with peace. Wrap layer by layer by layer until the person, place, thing, or event disappears into that beautiful pearl that you've just created. Sit with it for a moment or two. And now I invite you to relax your hands to your lap and let this light shine. Shine in you, shine from you as you connect with your mind-body. And I invite you to check in to find out where and what and how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and where in your body are you feeling these things? It takes great courage to become aware, and it takes great strength and courage to stay aware. So the practice that we'll be doing today is one that will allow you, help you, support you as you embody your courage and your strength. And so I invite you to ask yourself, what do I want to receive from this yoga practice? What do I want to receive from this yoga practice? And allow all the answers, no matter what they are, to come. And now I invite you to choose one. There's great power in one. And if you can't decide on one and you'd like the question to serve as your intention today, to explore that question, that would be great too. But whatever you decide to do, place that one thing, either the question or its answer, behind your heart and allow it to radiate to the soles of your feet, the crown of your head, the tips of your fingers, until your whole self is alive with that one thing as your intention for today's practice. And now I invite you to feel your breath. Notice where you experience the sensations of the inhale and where you experience the sensations of the exhale. Noticing. Just noticing. Not making anything right or wrong, not judging, not criticizing, not shaming yourself in any way, shape, or form. Just noticing. And now I invite you to begin moving with me. And now I invite you to begin moving with me. So I invite you to bring your hands behind your thighs. Begin to breathe in and move forward slightly by tilting the top of your pubic bone forward. When you exhale, bring your belly button in, and roll slightly back, slightly behind your sit bones. Inhale, come forward by bringing the top of your pubic bone forward. When you exhale, tilt it back and roll back down. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, roll back. And this time, when you roll back, roll all the way back. And bring your knees so they're right over your hips. Press the heels away so that your toes are pointing towards your knees, so you're dorsal flexing your feet. And now bring your arms out to the side. And notice how when you do that, your lower back is likely moving away from the mat. So bring your belly button in, belly button in, belly button in, until you can feel your lower back moving toward and touching the floor. I didn't say this would be easy, but keep checking in, because the tendency is to start to drift away from the pose. And so just keep noticing and then beginning again by bringing the belly button in, belly button in, belly button in. And now bring your feet to the mat for a moment and just allow yourself to soften everywhere you need to soften. Bring your hands behind your thighs, pull your knees in toward your chest, open your knees, and bring your heels to face the sky. If it's accessible to you, take hold of your big toes or bring your hands around the outside of your feet. But if you have to do this in order to take hold of your toes, honor yourself by just keeping your hands behind your thighs. And if it feels good, go ahead and rock from side to side. If you prefer to simply stay here and breathe here, this is a beautiful place to be. Happy baby, or as my boys used to call it, dead bug. And now bring your feet to the mat. Turn over onto your belly. And this is going to be a little more challenging because it's a much more subtle motion in this, and it can only go so far in this direction. But as you're here, come into Sphinx with me. Bend your elbows, put your forearms on the ground. Your elbows are right beneath your shoulders. And now tilt the top of your pubic bone, so the belly button side, forward toward the mat. It's not going to go far. And if this is comfortable for you, you can come gradually, slowly, up toward cobra. But I would really encourage you to let your focus be on tilting the top of your pubic bone forward. And you'll begin over time to notice the difference in how it feels in your back as you do these slight or dramatic arches. Back bends. Feel and find your breath. And now let's come on to all fours. Let's begin by bringing the wrists slightly in front of the shoulders. Spread your fingers really wide. Press the base of the thumb, the base of the pointer, and the base of the pinky finger down and forward. So your whole palm is on the floor, but you're pressing particularly those three parts of your palm. When you breathe in, let the belly button side of your pelvis drop toward the ground, and now feel yourself floating slightly forward. You can lift your chin if that feels right to you. Begin to breathe out. And before you go anywhere else, bring your belly button in, belly button in, belly button in. Notice how the lower back starts to round. And now when you press down the thumb, the pointer, the pinky, and you move slightly back, the rest of the back will follow and round, and your head will hang also. When you breathe in, tilt the top of the pubic bone forward. Let yourself float forward. Begin to breathe out. Belly button in, in. Press your thumb, pointer, pinky down and forward and let yourself drift back. It doesn't have to be far. Not going all the way to child's pose. And now I encourage you to move and flow with your breath. Remembering that on the inhale, your belly button side of your pelvis goes toward the ground. You begin to move forward. When you breathe out, before you go anywhere else, you bring your belly button in, and you let the back, you let the spine guide you. So we're following the pelvis. And this is something I do every night before I go to bed. And if I make time in the morning, it's a great way to start the day also. And so now I invite you to move your hands slightly forward, to tuck your toes, and to come to downward dog. Separate your feet, so they're as wide as the mat. Point your big toes toward each other. Pull your belly button in. Press the thumb, the pointer, the pinky down and forward. Let your head hang. See if you can bring softness into this pose to make it a place of rest. If it feels good, you can come up onto the balls of your feet. You can bicycle if that feels right. Or you can just rest right here. And on your next inhale, gaze at your hands. Bring your left knee to the mat. Step your right foot forward. Help it if you need to with your hand on your calf. And come into a lunge. Now, if you are able to just step your right foot forward, then please feel free to do that. I really like to make the poses as accessible as possible for everybody. So I ask that you be mindful of who you are and what you are right here, right now. So reach your hands. When you exhale, turn gently to your right side. Let your right hand come behind you. Let your left hand rest on your right thigh. Let the top of your pubic bone tilt slightly forward, and you can either gaze straight ahead or gaze over your right shoulder. Do what feels better for your neck. Breathe in, reach your hands up, come back to the center. Have your blocks nearby in case you need them. I'm sorry, I didn't think to say that before. Bring your hands to the mat. Come to a high lunge. So you're reaching your left heel away. And now bring your hands either to the blocks, if that feels best for you, or bring your hands to your right knee. Breathe in. Let the top of your pubic bone come forward. When you exhale, bring your left fingertips either to the floor or to a block and turn yourself to the right. Let the top of your pubic bone tilt slightly forward. Feel how that lifts the whole and extends the whole front of your body. Breathe in. And on your exhale, bring your hands back to the mat. Step your right foot back and come back to downward dog. Let yourself take up space. So if you're used to having your downward dog be here, partly because you want your heels on the ground, try this for today. And feel the length, the luxurious length of your spine. So now, inhale, look forward. Step your left foot forward or bring your right knee to the mat and help your left foot forward. I'm going to turn around so that I can look at you when I twist. And now inhale your hands straight up to the sky. Feel your heart lift as you tilt the top of your pubic bone forward. When you breathe out, turn gently to your left side. Left hand on your hip or behind your back, right hand resting on your left knee. Feel your breath working its way into your body, telling you you're worth the work. Inhale your hands up. When you exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Come onto the ball of your right foot, so you're reaching your right heel back, and come to a high lunge. Breathe in. When you exhale, bring your right hand to the mat or to a block and turn yourself to your left. If this is really easy and comfortable for you, feel free to lift your left hand into the sky. Honor your body as it is. On your next exhale, bring your hands back to the mat and come back to downward dog. Take up space. You are worthy of taking up space. On your next exhale, walk your hands to the top of your mat and come to a standing position. And let's remember that our Tadasana, our mountain, needs to reflect how our sacrum feels. So we'll start with our feet together, which is the more traditional version of the pose. And I invite you to put your hands on your lower back. There's a triangular shaped bone back there, the sacrum, the sacred bone. And just feel how it feels with your feet together. And now step your feet apart a little bit and feel how that feels. And now step your feet apart a little bit more and feel how that feels. And now go to the place or somewhere in between where your sacrum felt really comfortable and where you felt that it had enough space to be. Relax your hands at your sides and look at your feet and line up the edges, the outer edges of your feet so they're parallel with each other, meaning they draw lines that never intersect. Remember that from way back? The reason we do this is that when we line up the bones, the muscles don't have to work so hard. And as humans, we tend to stand and walk like ducks, primarily because of tightness. So this is a way to work with our body, to embody what it is we want to live. So I invite you to pause right here, close your eyes or soften your gaze, and to feel the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, who wrote, "I am a mountain, strong, tall, imperturbable, rigorous, alive. The waves of emotion can never carry me away." Feel those words. Notice where in your body you feel those words, and feel your breath. And we're doing a series of Virabhadrasana poses because Vira is the root word and it means strength and courage. So we're doing the Virabhadrasana, the warrior poses, to cultivate and to embody our strength and courage. So I encourage you to feel in your body wherever you feel your strength and courage as we're doing these poses. So start at the top of your mat in your mountain, and I encourage you to give yourself the gift of alignment. And now have your blocks nearby, just in case you might need them. One never knows, and on any given day it's different. So I invite you now to step your right foot straight back. Let the toes of that foot be more forward than they are out to the side. Walk your left foot out to the left a little bit and turn your left toes slightly out. Inhale your hands over your head. As you exhale, press your back heel down, bend your front knee, and check your front knee. It needs to go only as far as your ankle, and it needs to be pointing towards your toes. So in Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1, you can look straight ahead, or if you'd like right now, you can take your gaze up to the space between your hands, and you can visualize your oyster between your hands. Roundish, beautiful, pearlescent, luminous. And when you exhale, adjust your back leg so you can walk it back more. Turn your right foot out. Turn just your upper body to the right and reach your arms out so your hands are just below shoulder height. Turn your gaze over your left hand, check your left knee, and reach your fingertips away from each other. Without moving your feet, hug your heels toward each other. Feel your strength. And now feel your breath feeding your strength. Inhale, bring your right hand to your right leg, your left hand up into the sky. Press your left heel down as you keep bending your left knee. Breathe in, straighten your leg, bring your arms back to that T. Bring your hands over your head and now shift your back foot so that it's facing more forward again. Bend your left knee one more time. Bring your hands behind or on your lower back. You can either rest them on your lower back or you can reach them out behind you as you come forward for grateful or humble warrior. And feel your breath. Inhale, release your hands, lift yourself up to Virabhadrasana 1 once more. Check in with your back heel, check in with your arms. Are your fingertips reaching or are you just kind of hanging out? Is your knee bending in the safe direction? Breathe in. When you exhale, bring your hands to your blocks. Skip your back foot forward, lift your right leg, reach your right heel away, and either keep your hands on your blocks or bring your hands in front of your heart. Now what I'd like you to notice is your right buttock lifted? Are you here or are you here? It's very familiar to be here. I'm inviting you to bring your right buttock down so that your pelvis is facing the ground. Breathe in. When you exhale, bring your right foot down, move your left foot out as you need to, and come back to Virabhadrasana 1. Breathe in. When you exhale, adjust your back foot again so that you step it back if you need or want to, and then you turn the right toes slightly more out and bring your arms to Virabhadrasana 2. So honor your body. If you're holding this pose and you start feeling a lot of tension and it will start shortening your breath, I encourage you to release the pose. Or maybe just part of the pose. Maybe you relax your hands somewhere. Or maybe you bend your knee and then straighten your leg. And maybe you just keep moving in the pose. Honor your body. So we do these things so that in the moments when we don't feel our strength or our courage or our fortitude, we have a memory, a muscle memory. And muscle memories are powerful. Our cells hold everything until and unless we release it. So we access this muscle memory in the moments when we don't feel quite so strong. We have a memory in our body and our mind of what it feels like to embody our courage and strength. And that allows us to remember that we did it once, we can do it again. On your next inhale, relax your hands down, straighten your legs. Bring your right foot slightly forward again so you're facing forward, and come one more time to Virabhadrasana 1. On your next exhale, relax your hands to your sides. Step your right foot forward. Come to your Tadasana. Give yourself the gift of the space between your feet that helps your sacrum feel great. Give yourself the alignment of the outer edges so you're lining up the bones. And let's pause here and notice the differences between the left and the right side. It may feel uncomfortable because one feels either a lot longer or a lot more open or a lot lighter than the other. And so I invite you to exercise your courage, your stamina, your strength, your fortitude, your steadfastness, to stay with yourself in this moment of uncomfortable. Because we can do hard things. Feel your breath wherever it is that you feel it. Notice where you're experiencing anything at all in your body. And now we'll turn to face the other direction. You don't have to face the other direction. I'm going to face the other direction. So this time, we will step our left foot back, walk the right foot slightly out, turn the right toes slightly out. Inhale your hands up over your head, and when you exhale, press your back heel down, bend your front knee, and check your front knee. Is it behind your ankle? Is it pointing toward your toes? Are your fingertips reaching to the sky? Are your shoulders relaxed? Feel your breath. Take your gaze up between your hands if you'd like to look one more time at that beautiful pearl that you've created, that you're creating. And when you exhale, take your gaze forward again, step your left foot back some more and turn it out to the side if you need to or want to step it back more. And now reach your arms out to a T, hands just below shoulder height. Take your gaze over the middle finger of your front hand. Without moving your feet, hug your heels toward each other. Feel your strength. Inhale your left hand to your left leg, your right hand up into the sky. Keep bending your front knee. Breathe in for reverse warrior. Exhale back to Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale your hands over your head. Turn yourself forward, so move your back foot as you need to for warrior 1. And when you exhale, bring your hands behind you. Either rest them on your sacrum or clasp your hands and let them come up toward the sky as you lean over your right thigh for humble or grateful warrior. Feel your breath. Feel the softness it can bring. And inhale your way back up to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale and bring your hands to your blocks. Lift your left leg, reach your left heel away. Keep your hands on your blocks or bring your hands in front of your heart or reach them out in front of you or bring them to the sides, wherever it feels right for you. And you can pay attention to your left buttock. Is it here or is it here? Honor yourself with your effort because you're worth the work. You're worth the growing awareness. On your next exhale, step your left foot back. Lift yourself up to Virabhadrasana 1. When you exhale, turn to your left side, just your upper body turns. You can step your left foot back, and turn your left toes out some more. Find your pose and remember, we're holding this, or we're moving with it, or we're shifting with it, so that wherever you are, it reflects what your body needs at that time. And wherever you are, I invite you to be there. Be totally present in your body, noticing where you feel your strength, where you feel your courage. And remember that you are totally worth the work, the effort. You are totally worth the attention. And that this is our way of reminding, of building in our body that muscle memory, so that on the days or the moments when we don't feel it's there, we remind ourselves, we have the memory to remind ourselves. Inhale your hands up one more time. Adjust your back foot so that it's facing forward. Breathe in, and when you exhale, relax your hands to your side. Step your left foot forward. Align yourself in your mountain one more time. And feel your breath. Feel the pubic bone tilt slightly forward. Feel how that makes so much space in the front of your body and in your lower back. And now I invite you to step your feet. Well, try it and see how it feels. If you need to step your feet a little bit farther apart, or if you need to bring them closer together, change your stance. But let's begin with our arms over our head. And now sit back for Utkatasana, or fierce pose. If this is not working for you to have your arms out here, bring your hands in front of your heart, because you do want your arms to be super straight. You are fierce. You can be equally fierce here too if this doesn't work for you. Find what works. We need to be committed to, fiercely devoted to cultivating our strength and courage in our body, in our mind, in our spirit, so that we can draw on it whenever we need to. Of course, if you're holding the pose and it's feeling to be too much, always feel free to move in the pose instead of holding it. Let's all meet for a breath or two in Utkatasana, fierce pose, wherever you want, wherever your arms want to be. And on your next inhale, reach your arms up, exhale your hands to your sides. Look at your feet, make sure their distance apart reflects the comfort of your sacrum. And feel your breath coursing through the body, bringing its ease, bringing its softness, bringing its comfort. And by doing that, allowing you access to your strength and your courage. Now let's come down to the mat. I'm going to turn my back to you first. You can use a strap for this, or you may not need one, but you're lying on your side. Let's start with our left side. Knees are bent. Reach and hold on to your right ankle. If this doesn't work, or if you have to contort yourself in order to do that, put the strap around the front of your ankle and just hold it like this. And now when you're in that position, bring your belly button in. And when you do that, you will feel the front of your right thigh. So this may be very easy for you, or it may be a challenge, but no matter where you are, whether your foot is in, or whether your ankle it has the strap in front of it, or you're holding onto it with your hand, when you bring your belly button in, there will be an increase in the sensation in the front of your leg. And if there isn't, it may very well be that your belly button is forward. There's nothing bad or wrong about that. It's just that in this position, or what my purpose is to soften the muscle group from the top of your kneecap to just below your ribs. We cannot stretch that. It's called the psoas, but we can soften it, and we soften it by breathing in and out. Or we lengthen it by softening it. So now release that foot, come onto your back. Pause here for a moment. Notice whatever differences there are, if any, and turn onto your right side. And we'll do the same thing. Bend your knees, take hold of your left ankle, or put a strap around the front of your left ankle. Whichever you do, bring your belly button in, so that you feel the sensation in the front of your left thigh this time. So you're not up here. It's in line with your hip. Notice with each exhale how you can soften that muscle group. Life tightens the psoas just by all the movements we do throughout our day. And when it gets tight and we don't take care of it, it can affect the toes, the ankle, the knees, the hips, the lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, wrists. So it behooves us to do something every day to soften it. This is a great one to do. So let's release that leg and come on to your belly. I'm trying to get so that you can see my feet, but that may not work. So this is an option. You can continue to go from side to side, or you can come to your sphinx and you can feel the top of your pubic bone tilt slightly forward. And then you can reach behind you and you can hold on to the fronts of your ankles, or you can put a strap there and do it this way. Your knees are apart, your feet are apart, the top of your pubic bone is tilting forward, and you breathe. Now, the root word of the word courage is the French word cœur, which means heart. So in this position, or in the side lying positions, you have an opportunity to shine your heart. And I invite you and encourage you, in whatever way feels right to you, to shine your heart. Because that too will feed your courage and your strength of mind, body, spirit. Because whatever you do for one, the mind, for example, you do for the body and the spirit. What you do for the body, so when you do the poses, and if you're still in that position, you can certainly come out and rest on the floor. What you do for your body, when you do the poses, you're doing for your mind and your spirit as well. So I invite you to simply relax on the floor for a moment or two and to lie on your back, to move into a Shavasana pose, whatever pose is relaxing for you. So you could just lie on your back with your legs extended. You could lie on your back with your knees bent, your feet wide as the mat, and you're letting your knees float toward each other. You could put your legs up the wall. You could lie on your belly if you'd like. But find a position that feels filled with ease for you. And allow yourself to lie there for as long as you can. But even if it's only 3 or 4 minutes, it will be a gift. And when you're ready, when you've done or extended your Shavasana, I invite you, before you go anywhere else, to simply pause and rest for several breaths. And then bring yourself to a seated position of whatever nature is comfortable for you. And rub your hands rigorously together to generate some heat. And cup your hands gently over your eyes and receive the warmth from your hands in your eyes and their sockets, your cheekbones, your jawbone, all the way down to your heart. Place a smile behind your eyes, behind your lips, behind your heart, and receive and share the softness that moves into your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Let's bring our palms together in front of our heart so that we might honor ourselves and each other with the word that's used throughout the Himalayas to say hello and goodbye, and which means the light that is me honors the light that is you. Namaste. 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 Thank you for allowing me to be part of your yoga practice. I hope you'll join me in other videos. I hope you'll join me on some of the in-person events that I do. My email address is listed below, so if you'd like to ask me some questions, please feel free to do that. I look forward to meeting you in person someday, but in the meantime, savor yourself just as you are. Many blessings.